Aloha, everyone, and welcome to class number 8 of Astrology for the New Age of Aquarius. And once again, I offer my gratitude, sincere, heartfelt gratitude to Susan and Purnima for holding this space and allowing this cycle of 8 classes to take place amongst such an extraordinary circle. And I'd like to offer my gratitude and thanks to all of you assisting that have come to partake and hold this energy so that this seed, this template, can take place within the consciousness and the ocean of humanity in which we're all plunged within. And I'd like to offer now a little bit of a space in which we can become conscious of our body, our physical body in which we're in, our breath, our feet, hands, our heartbeat, our physical body in which we live within. And we're recognizing this physical body as a part of ourselves, offering us a place in which we can live, experience, open, and receive, offer. And we're recognizing this physical body right now in this particular moment is in a home, a place which is familiar to us, that we also feel safe in, we feel secure, we know, and that it allows us also to maintain our physical existence. It gives a place for our body to come to leave from, and we're recognizing that this place also is in perhaps a city, a town, in the country, in a particular country, a particular state. So it's within an environment also that's far greater, far larger than our physical bodies. And we realize that our physical bodies are connected to these different spaces. And they're connected to the other physical bodies that have these different spaces, different homes, different countries, and that there's a connection between them. And we're recognizing this through our breath, through our heartbeat, through the blood circulating through our bodies, that little by little the connection between our physical body and the environment which we're living in is very intimate to us. And as we feel into that, we realize that these different places, environments in which our homes are situated, or the places that we work from, that are very familiar to us, are also connected all through the earth. And that all through the earth there's life taking place. Trees that are growing, rivers that are flowing, oceans that are vast. The earth that is rich, that's providing food. The air in which we breathe that we're taking in. All this is provided for in maintaining this connection that we have in each of our physical bodies. No matter where we're found on earth, this connection is maintained. It doesn't depend upon us. We are present and plunged within it. And as we take a breath, and as we take each breath, we're realizing that we're always connected to the earth as a whole. That earth is this wholeness, this consciousness that surrounds us and envelops us. And as we continue our breaths, as we feel our heartbeat, as we become aware more and more of the environment in which we're in, we're realizing this environment that's within the Earth's consciousness is also plunged within the solar system. And those planets, the stars above us, are constantly providing energies and maintaining an environment in which our soul and spirit, in this coming and going in our different lives, are being nourished, are being provided for, are being welcomed, and being allowed little by little to discover and open to these mysteries in which the universe contains. And as we allow our awareness to open more and more, we realize that there is a womb in which we're found in, this circle of the Zodiac, these portals in which the astrological signs provide this energy coming from source, coming from the original flame of creation. And we realize that it's intimately connected to each of our heartbeats. Each of our breaths are intimately connected to the source of creation and this immensity in which we're presently now living in each one of our waking moments here on earth. And as we allow this consciousness to penetrate into our physicality, we can only feel this extraordinary wave of gratitude, love, appreciation for ourselves to be received in a physical body and to have this opportunity to experience in creation, and for the creation itself and the source of creation, that it's providing constantly for us and all the beings that are experiencing this wonder of creation. Mahalo. And for this 8th class, I thought it would be really nice to remember how we started our class, how we started this journey together, in which I proposed that we now pay a little bit more attention to the universe in which we live in. And the book, The Zodiac, The Key to Man and Women and the Universe, is linking our lives to this vast reality in which we're living in. And we started the class with the first page. And if you permit me, we've read this page now. This will be the 4th time. And I'd just like to read it again, just to have this sense of this reality in which we're plunged in, and to now look at this page perhaps as a means of re-entering into the mandala of our consciousness and this cycle of birth to birth. This cycle in which we have participated in many, many times. And right now we have the possibility with this arrival and this dawn of a new age, the age of Aquarius, to remember. So, initiatic science teaches that we live out our lives immersed in the ocean of fluidic matter known as the astral light. So I'm just going to talk now just 1 second about remember the study of astrology is the study of this astral light. We're studying ourselves in this connection to the universe. This fluid is so sensitive that it bears the record of everything that occurs in the universe. The most insignificant gesture, the slightest, most superficial emotion, every fleeting thought that goes through our minds are all recorded. According to esoteric tradition, astral light is an extremely subtle substance emanated by all creatures, from human beings, animals, plants, to the rocks of the earth, and even the stars of the heavens. It is this fluidic matter that Hermes Trismegistus referred to as telesma, saying its father is the sun, its mother the moon, the wind carried it in its womb, the earth is its nurse. Of course, we should not think that the sun, fire, moon, water, wind, air, and earth, of which Hermes speaks, are no more than the 4 material elements familiar to us all. He is speaking of the fundamental cosmic principles from which all matter was created. So, during these last 7 classes, we have explored that together. We have opened up the door to our consciousnesses to allow a greater depth to penetrate us all, no matter where we're starting from. If we're starting from the point that this was the first time we've ever heard something like this, that we're plunged in astral light that records everything. And not only it's recorded by the possibility of our mind, but it's recorded by every single cell in our body. And not only by human beings, but by animals, plants, all of life, air, the stars, everything in creation is constantly recording. And that recording is being stored, it's being maintained. And it's ongoing. So if that was new, or if this has been something that we've been aware of before we were born in this lifetime, and little by little we reawaken this within us. In this journey, no matter where we've started from, we've allowed ourselves to deepen into this and understand then that through the mandala of our consciousness, between the moment that we took our first breath, the moment that we started our incarnation and our physical memory started receiving consciously these vibrations, that we have the possibility to integrate in an infinite manner all of the universe. So each of these classes has been a means in which we've explored what Omraam Aïvanhov has presented in this book. And I said in my introduction that I would offer a foundation in which each individual could allow themselves to explore these realities as far as they would like. And that through their particular mandala of consciousness, that's linked to every single one, they have the possibility to explore and retrieve their memory of every single lifetime. It's all there. So there's many things I did not speak about in this book, and there's many things that I did speak about in different facets, different ways. And as you look back on these classes, if that's your choice, you'll understand that this gives us the possibility to penetrate more deeply into the fundamental structures in which Omraam Aïvanhov is inviting all of humanity. Constantly, he's saying that the seed, God Goddess's seed, this eternal seed, is planted within us all. And that from lifetime to lifetime, this seed is growing and blossoming. And its function is to become a tree to also provide seeds and fruits and shade and everything that's found in creation. This is our predestination as sons and daughters of creation. And so as we look at our mandala of consciousness, we're realizing that it is a seed that's planted within this cycle of life to life to life. And it doesn't stop when we leave our physical bodies. It continues, and that we're able to consciously become aware more and more during this period of the dawn of the Age of Aquarius. This was always possible for humanity. Yet now on a collective level, we're able to support, assist, and cooperate together as we lift the consciousness of human beings, ourselves, from this state of unconsciousness and subconsciousness in which pain, suffering, injury, sickness are found, and we can transcend that. We can lift ourselves up into states of consciousness where this cycle is ongoing. And there are so many examples of this that we don't need to repeat it. So what I would like to invite everyone to do is Greta prepared a slideshow and with a musical background. And it's a slideshow of almost not all of the diagrams, but a great deal of the diagrams. And we're going to allow ourselves and plunge ourselves into this journey that we've had together. And just allow these images to enter more deeply into our consciousness, because this is the language now that we're going to enter into more and more as our soul emerges from this period of darkness that we've been in. Just like in dream time, we receive images. Now consciously, we're going to be receiving codes, images, call them what we want, of universal realities, and they will download this immensity within our consciousnesses, and we'll be able to bring these through our experiences here on earth, whether the simple tasks of our life. And as we become more and more aware of it, we're going to see that the actual life functions of breathing, sleeping, eating, these foundational experiences of life are there so that we can intimately enter into contact with these universal realities. Yay, we did it. Thank you so much. So, isn't that extraordinary to see this journey that we've all taken place? So, we have this possibility. I mean, I have the shivers just thinking of it, of discovering all these different mysteries and facets of universal consciousness in our lives, in our individual lives. And this diversity of experience is what the Age of Aquarius now is offering us. It's offering us that as each one of us as individuals become vehicles of this little tiny slideshow, this was Greta and I's offering. So the first music was called Spirit of Love. So it's from a piece called The Seven Spirits, in which each spirit offers a tiny bit of its essence. So it's just a small part of this song written for two voices in dance. And the second is called The Call, the second section. And this is the relationship between our spirit when we pass over, when we leave our physical bodies, and the guardian angel that receives us, the angel that receives us and guides us back into the universal realities in the different layers in which we can reintegrate our universal consciousness in another form. And the third, you heard in the film, if some of you have watched the Class 7, it's the prayer, Providence. May the peace of God, Goddess, live in our hearts, and may pure joy and holy bliss shine. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. So it is forever and ever. Amen. So these three phases, these three different cycles, is we're re-emerging from this ocean of love. And the second is this reintegration in this universal consciousness. And the third is the actual reintegration of these two into this temple of New Jerusalem. What's new about it? Huh? What's new about this? It's always been around, but it's new for us. It's new for us in this cycle. So this new Age of Aquarius is offering us this diversity of universal consciousness within our human experience. So in that vein, I would like to invite all of you, if you would like to speak and share about your experience. We're entering this now into this circle of awareness, and feel that this is safe, and don't worry about if you don't want this recorded. It won't be. We don't have to, this doesn't have to be for the public. Yet I think it's important, if you offer this, that it's a seed of your genius, of your creativity, of who you are. So I'd like to invite you all.
I'll start. Just to everybody, first of all, I want to give gratitude to Richard and Greta for this amazing activation point for all of our souls. Just we don't even know it to the depth of what's actually happening within each of our sacred geometry, and then with us all together. And then obviously Purnima to lead the technical side. Thank you, Purnima, my beautiful soul sister. For me, of course, I had readings with Richard back in October to December, and had no idea that that was going to be a setup for what's actually happened over this last 8 weeks that we've done. And for me, it's been the integration of the truth of who I am, and seeing it and really landing deep within my soul, my spirit, and then the human body is catching up in the density. So, and in dream time and all these activations, every week it's something even grander that's coming. And so I'm just along for the ride at this point. The human doesn't fully understand what's being revealed, but I trust everybody here is soul family. It resonates so deeply. And we're all taking our position for this moving into the grand awakening of it's happening within ourselves, and then of course it's reflected out into the collective consciousness. But yeah, just deep gratitude. for that. And I'm excited to see what gets revealed along the storyline and how it all comes together and all the clues that will show up. Because in my sacred geometry, I feel the keys are unlocking based on every week that what you've imparted. And Greta with her beautiful illustrations, the activations are so deep. So thank you.
Aloha. The most magnificent gift that was offered to us during those courses is the fact that astrology is not a mysterious science anymore. It's like mathematics. Mathematics is a world, amazing world. So as a child, mathematics will always fire my imagination, and that was like visiting a wonderful world and perspectives. And mathematics have been used by humans, by our natures. We've got both natures, and our lower natures use mathematics and not cut us, but didn't open us to the universe and the beauty of the mathematics. And the same with astrology. Astrology have been there for a long, long time. Originally, I guess it came from that same source as Richard is offering us, but it's been used for our own benefit and not for opening ourselves to the beauty of creation. And for the first time, even if I've read the books of Omraam Mikhaël Aïvanhov myself, I discovered that immensity that is offered to us all the time as seeds. You know, the fact that it was mentioned as seeds, that if we take care of those seeds, water them, love them as a gardener, and take care of them, they will grow and reveal truth, the beauty of the universe. And that's what I've been offered to myself. And I've got a lot of gratitude for that, of course. So I don't want to expand too much about the gratitude and everything, but to witness the beauty of the universe is in every knowledge and science when it's not used for our own self, our own benefit. It's something that opened the door and the window to the creation. And so there is a lot to say. You know, a lot came, as Suzanne mentioned, every week something come and the consciousness open and receive gifts. And yeah, so I just want to share that thought forms of our lower nature prevent us to plunge in that reality. And I hope we can let it be and plunge our consciousness in the beauty of creation through astrology, mathematics, gardening, any science, any activities can lead us to that source. So that's my little participation of witnessing. Maybe I will have more to say and share, but that's what I want to offer for the moment. Aloha and thank you.
Aloha. This is Susan in California. Thank you, beautiful Richard and Greta. Forgive me, I get very nervous talking sometimes, so I'm going to try and speak from my heart. Thank you, Purnima and Susan and Varadon, for bringing me to this beautiful group. Years ago, I had a mentor of mine at the Center of Excellence in San Francisco who would appear in her light body in front of me and would go in and out of her physical body into her light body in my experience. And now, many years later, I have now this amazing codes or downloads of this astrology, the study of this astral light, and what Varadhan and I have experienced with our astrology, which are our birthdays and our unique soul essence signature. It's beautiful to study these things, but in my experience of being with Varadhan, with our unique birthdays and astral light soul signatures being so close, our birthdays are called sympathetic vibration. And what we've experienced in these bodies outside of time and space, as many of you know, we are separated in what we call time and space, but our astral light and our resonance is so similar that we've transcended what we call time and space in my experience. And this class has been so extremely valuable, as Susan was talking about the sacred geometry of what's lighting up. I'm just so profoundly grateful for my mind being able to put together some of these concepts that I've experienced and start to be able to speak from the heart. So I'm grateful to all of you for this profoundly beautiful experience and knowledge. I'm grateful to all of you.
Would you like a little bit more French accent? You got a bit of William, so now you're trained. So it's so wonderful to be back with you, because we were physically with you not that long ago. And many of the names I see on the screen, just every one of them is beautiful memories. And I got to meet Varadhan for the first time, and some of you, and so thank you for that. And I'd like to say something about this course, because I have known Richard and Greta, as you know, for quite a long time. And there is a huge difference between what I hear here in this astrology course and what I've heard in so many other ones. When Richard talks, he talks about what's happening inside himself. This is not just theory. So this is when the beautiful images and knowledge given by Omraam, Mikhaël, Aïvanhov take all their sense in an individual who has developed all these wonderful qualities and the knowledge of the mysteries of astrology. Just to give you an idea, one day I was in Paris, and we went to see an astronomy explanation about the stars. So they were showing us the stars, which was very interesting indeed. But then in the middle of the show, the guy, who must have been something like 35 years old, something like that, starting to say, you know, when you see the stars like that, you understand that all this thing of astrology is complete rubbish, and that what's happening in the sky has nothing to do with what you are living in your life. And I was absolutely fuming, and I said, well, another example of this ignorance and arrogance of pseudoscience. Now, when I hear Richard, I hear an authentic heart talking and a soul which has expanded, and every single stars, every single planet he's talking about, every single aspect is something that he has experienced inside himself and with all the numerous people he has worked with. And all this is just come into, I would near say, a beautiful melting pot of love and care and intelligence and high sensitivity. So this is the occasion for me to say again my huge esteem for this man I'm delighted to call my friend, and his beautiful wife Greta, and say thank you and mahalo to all of you. And you will recognize yourself, all the many names I see here. And thank you, Susan Lee, for introducing yourself, because I didn't know you. All the best. Take care, and thank you very much. I was about to say have a nice evening. Well, have a nice day for most of you.
I don't know exactly what's going to come out of my mouth, but I just love all of you here. And I want to just say from the very, very beginning of getting involved with Richard and Greta and the beautiful group of souls that come from this, I don't know where you're from, that beautiful lineage. And even there, it was a little glitchy. I just wanted to say I was so moved by just watching those images go by. Richard, remember when you first did my first reading, you just had me stare at the chart, I think, and I didn't know anything about what I'm seeing, and yet I'm intuiting that I'm learning so much from things that my mind is in the way for, but something deep in me in this place that resonates with your music, the images that Greta prepared, the embodiment of this knowledge that comes through is absolutely extraordinary. And I'm so, so grateful. Thank you.
It's so much of it is energetic that it's hard to put words on some of what I'm experiencing. But I think generally there's a window of the way I view my reality has been dramatically expanded, and the resources and the wisdom and the nurturing, the support that's available in this womb, I guess I'll call it, is amazing. And right now, my overwhelming sense is the wonderful energetic essence that I'm receiving from the beauty of the music and the artwork, and maybe most profoundly from the presence of each one in this circle. And I'm feeling gratitude to myself for whatever I've done to allow myself to be in this vibration of this circle of beings. And I want to acknowledge that I feel like that, Richard, what you've catalyzed is a coming together of this beautiful circle, which I'm feeling so profoundly is a resource for the greater reality and the times that we're living in, and the times that you have enhanced my awareness of its bigness, you've sort of broadened the window through which I'm viewing reality, and I'm feeling much gratitude to you and Greta and Purnima and Susan and the unseen ones. I just want to acknowledge that I'm feeling also that are here. So thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody. Shine on. God bless. Mahalo.
I forgot to thank you for the background of roosters and chicken, without which we wouldn't feel the magic of Kauai, you know. So I don't know if you attach them, you know, before starting, Richard, but that gives, you know, this sense of sacredness. Plus, as you know, the cock is a symbol of France, so it makes me feel at home as well when I'm listening to you. So thank you for that. It just it's a bit like Richard. This, you know, it's at the same time the most extraordinary light and depth and wonder, and all the very basic, simple life, which indeed are very linked together. So that's why I wanted to point out this. Thank you for the atmosphere of Kauai that you bring us through this course, and the magic of Kauai. I mean, many of you have the privilege of being there, some are not. God, what a place. Thank you, Richard. And what an astrologer.
I'd love to share if I may. So I have been exposed to astrology from a very young age because you may know that in India, a child is named from based on the birth chart. And it's a very common practice to, see an astrologer on a regular basis. So I was exposed to Vedic astrology, and I'm not an expert by any means, but I have a basic understanding. And then I was also introduced to Western astrology when I moved to Canada, 26 years ago. And I've had many, many, many readings over the years. But I have to say that what we learned during these 8 classes is unlike anything that I've ever experienced. And, it's hard to articulate everything. But what I feel happened for me, in the recent times, I've been going through this experience of connecting with my fractals in all dimensions, in all realities, in all lifetimes, and coming into wholeness. And I believe that it's happening in all realities for me. So this way of looking at astrology, the mandala of consciousness, I felt like it was a very galactic way of looking at astrology. And as we humans are emerging into our galactic being, or emerging as galactic beings, as we enter this age of Aquarius, I feel like this way of understanding our astrology, our chart, our mandala of consciousness is so enlightening in understanding who we truly are, and how to navigate this time based on our mandala of consciousness, and how to relate with the people around us. So I'm grateful beyond measure, Richard, for this transmission. And also Greta, what an incredible job of, creating these visuals for us so that we are able to absorb the concepts even in a, deeper way. Very, very profound. And I'm grateful to my dear sister, Susan. She asked me to moderate the class for class 2 because she was traveling. And then, we've been together this whole time. And, I just want to say to Richard, what next? We have to plan something else now. Let's keep this momentum going. And I know Richard is such an amazing teacher, and I am grateful to know you and to receive this wisdom from you. Deep, deep gratitude. Thank you. Aloha.
Can I speak? Am I on?
Yes, you're on. Yeah.
Thank you. And so I know that in the hearts of all those that have followed this, either in the physical plane, on the Zoom, or through the recordings that are being sent out, that each one of you has a extraordinary possibility to look and feel into these universal realities. And the what next, we'll see. We'll see, because each one has a what next. This was initially started by a collaboration between Omraam World and the group of people that are nurturing these spiritual teachings of Omraam Mikhaël Aïvanhov. And my and Greta's personal desire to bring forth our experience through these spiritual teachings and a way in which we're living them and which we've studied them. So astrology, music, beauty are natural expressions expressions of our experience. So the what next there's always something what next. I mean, Purnima, she just purchased a beautiful piece of land here on Kauai, and we assisted a ceremony. And for me, there was an extraordinary awakening, a seed that was awakening deep within me. And I know that that's part of my what next. Absolutely. There is something physically. We're going to build a small little home for Purnima that she can actually steward this land physically. And so that's a what next immediately. And the what next is continuing to collaborate these absolute realities that we live in a universe that's benevolent, that's overwhelmingly kind and grateful, and that we can express that in so many different ways. So I encourage each one of you to express your genius, your creativity, your beauty, your wonder as a little child, you see. And I've been very fortunate in this lifetime to be born into a family that nurtured that within me, and that I took that step to nurture that at all times. And I'm seeing how extraordinarily infinite it is. We talk about imagination. Imagination is infinite. Its reality is infinite images. So as we enter into it, so to now have a full circle, what I would like to do is to embrace these realities in which we're living in. We are living in a world that is going through major transformations. There is still an enormous amount of suffering, of pain. We're in contact with that. A lot of times not physical for most of us. Sometimes, yes, through our physical bodies and what they're undergoing. But most of the time within this astral light, we feel everything. And Omraam Aïvanhov talked about this a great deal. And he talked about this period expressly as being an emergence of that. And in 1963, he declared, he planted a seed, he did an invocation of solar consciousness, that this angelic world in which we are also immersed in, he invited this angelic world to take form within humanity. And he invited all the solar beings that are nurturing the earth. They're nurturing. We couldn't be here if they weren't here. So all these beings, he invited them in to take form, not only for himself in his physical reality, and for the people that were witnessing this invocation that was done at dawn, but also for everyone that was coming afterwards, for all of the future, for all of humanity. So this, this brings tears to my eyes. This is our work. This is our work. We're plunged, as I said, in our physical environment, in our reality. But in truth, our real work is to continually invoke, ask, supplicate, if it might be, in all our joy as little children of creation, that this world comes in and inhabits everyone, that we can live in peace and harmony in a world without any boundaries. That Purnima, that just bought a beautiful piece of land, that she has to go through all these things to prove that she can live in the United States. We need to prove that we're alive. Isn't our breath enough? Isn't our heartbeat enough? Isn't our love enough? So for humanity, this is our work together. And for Omraam Aïvanhov, there was a song that was written by his teacher that's called Rananchas. It's called Divine Day, Dawn, the dawn, this dawn of divinity. And I'd like to read the words of this song. And it was a song he said that his teacher wrote for him. And in this, you're going to see that this is the invitation also for the Age of Aquarius. It's for us to go into this reality of what we call suffering, of pain, of tragedy, of cruelty, of insanity, and bring down this light, this love, this angelic consciousness, so this can also be risen into resolution. And these beings that are coming into the earth little by little, they'll be living and offering a world that we have no idea whatsoever. So the words, Ranin Chas, dawn, divine day. It is early morning. Everything sings. Everything vibrates. The sun shines, and the soul of the world rejoices with sublime love. Excuse me, I'm just going to talk 1 second. This is what it is every dawn. The universe is talking about sublime love, sublime love. Sing, oh my heart. My heart can sing. Forget all human turmoil in this divine moment. Listen to my voice. Only in great pain can divine life be born. He says only. That's a shock for our human consciousness. Pain and suffering is linked to this divine life being born right now as we open up and embrace it. This human turmoil brings serene joy and new life to the world. Human turmoil is bringing this. We don't have to run away anymore. We don't have to cut it into pieces. It's offering something to us. May the new life of love warm my soul. Freedom, a strong spirit, and peace will be yours. Listen to my voice. Sweet sounds are calling to you, where eternal love reigns. So I'd like to finish our class with this song, and for us to enter deep within our personal turmoil, our personal darkness, allow this light to penetrate deep within. And if we don't have any more, hallelujah, we can enter into the consciousness of all of humanity. Believe me, there still is. Understanding that this is a food of a substance that's allowing for this sublime moment to take place. This is what's next for us, all of us. No more running away. No more running away. We are carriers of this sublime moment of dawn, and we have the right, the sovereignty to exist and embrace human consciousness right now for what it is and allow it to also experience this dawn. So I took a version of this song that's been harmonized. It was harmonized in the past by an extraordinary musician, Vincent Petit. And it's been done in many different ways. I took a version by a man named Gilles Hanot, lives in Canada, and he's working with a choral group in Russia. And it's absolutely extraordinary, the work that they're doing and allowing these resonances to come into being. And this man, Gilles Hanot, his work is colossal, and it's all been offered. He's taken this music and he's offering it. And he's also an extraordinary musician and composer. And I just want to honor him and honor the work that he's doing. So, Pradeep, if you may, put this music on. And during this music, we can link ourselves up, and we're carriers of this sublime dawn of love for all of humanity. Mahalo. So I wish for you all that you live constantly this sublime moment of divine love, that you nurture this in every single moment of your life, that you feel this sublime moment of love in each and every one that you meet, that the plants, the stones, the trees, all of nature, that you feel this moment of sublime love vibrate, radiate, and emanate throughout all of creation. I wish for you all that you lift your consciousnesses into this reality of who you are, of all sublime beings, of love, of light, of peace and harmony. And that this communication, this state of resonance grows and expresses itself fully and each breath. May God bless you all, and may each of your lives be filled with this dawn of Aquarius. Mahalo.